And talk about a beautiful morning. It is wonderful out here, which is good because today I can finally get this Mishimoto intake put in. So yeah, let's get started with that. So I just made a video not too long ago about receiving this whole box of parts. So we know what it is. Now it's time to actually get it in the car. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm getting in the car and just doing some, small little driving around, see if it makes any difference from the seat of the pants. And of course, at some point, I'll probably do testing to see if there's measurable difference. But as for now, we're just going to get it in the car. That way we can enjoy it. Okay, so I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. It just replaces this in the factory air box. So I don't think it's really a hard piece to put in. I think the most, nah, I can get to it. Instead of a clamp on the turbo, I can get to it. That's not a big deal. I just got to disconnect some of these breather lines and yeah, pull this out. So this should only take a minute. Let's get started on that. Let's see here. See if I can do this without dropping any sockets. I'll tell you one good thing about this particular engine bay, considering the engine don't take up a whole lot of space and the engine bay is pretty big. If you do drop something, 9 times out of 10 it goes all the way down, which is good. Alright, intake tube out of the way, and factory box. Alright, so we're making some progress here. Got the air box out of the way. Definitely, man, it clears up a lot of space. I tell you what though, while I have this space, I'm gonna get a rag and some cleaner. I'm gonna try to clean some of this up, a little dusty under here. And I don't like that. So I'm gonna take care of that real quick. So I want to go ahead and show the difference between the factory air pipe and the Mishimoto. So first and foremost, I want to compare the silicone end piece here from the Mishimoto to the factory. And as you can see, it is slightly bigger in diameter. Actually, it's a lot bigger in diameter. It doesn't neck down nearly as much. And see, the factory pipe has this like coupler piece, which makes it basically is an adapter to go from the smaller end to the larger inlet of the turbo. And I don't know if that's because on this EcoBoost the turbo is bigger, but I thought the housing was the same. But as you can see, the Mishimoto pipe is actually the same diameter as the end piece on the adapter of the factory intake. So it's all one piece. So now for the main tube part itself, I mean, that is a pretty significant difference. Actually, I don't even know which way it goes. I guess it would be this way. Something like that. Yeah, look at that. It pretty much stays the same diameter all the way down, which would be like right about there. So, yes, substantially larger than the factory pipe. Pretty nice, not gonna lie. And it looks really freaking sweet. And another thing I really liked about this kit is not all the clamps, but this one that bolts this or clamps this piece to the turbo inlet is a T-bolt. So that's nice. It's not a regular worm gear, which in most cases works fine, especially on the inlet side of things. There's really no reason you would need a T-bolt, but it's still nice to have. So. So I got the airbox installed. That was relatively simple. I was actually unsure how it goes in there, but not too bad. So we're all good now. I got the main pipe here all assembled with the filter on it, so it's supposed to just sneak down in here somehow. And that goes there like that. Cool. So that much is in. Let's see, the only thing I need to, I guess this kind of just sit over here. But that's what that is for there, and I guess that goes right in that little notch there, and plugs in right here. Wonderful. Now the only other piece is the top part, so I guess I'm gonna grab that. Now I venture to say it goes on something like this. Goes on something like that. It's got 3 bolts here. I'm gonna pop them in and see where we're at. Yeah, that's it. She's in. That's all she wrote. You know, honestly, I thought I thought it took up more space, because that was actually something I was wanted, that was really catchy about the design of this intake. I actually thought it took up more space this way, like the factory airbox, because, you know, hiding all this nasty crap was something I was looking to do, but nope. Takes up a little cube here worth of space, and yeah. Now I think my installation could have been a little bit better. I need to probably adjust the filter down a little bit so this gasket sits up near the pipe. But actually that seals everything. That might be the way it should be, or maybe it needs to be up further, who knows. But it does seal nice. I mean, it's not a completely sealed box, but it's loosely sealed around the edges here. And of course, you know, there's gaps in the bottom, but the main part of this is just to help keep a lot of the hot air from being sucked in. Of course, it takes advantage of the factory air duct right here. So, is the stock airbox better? Possibly. This is a metal pipe, so this has definitely chance of getting heat soaked. Of course, and it can heat soak the intake air temp sensor here. But I don't know that. That is just pure speculation. I guess we're gonna have to find that out. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up all my mess here. Then we're gonna turn the car on, see how it sounds, see if there's any noticeable difference in turbo noise at idle on startup. And then once we do that, we're gonna drive around, see if there's any, see the pants difference in power, hear how the turbo sounds driving around. And then I'm gonna actually see what it's doing with intake temps. I have been monitoring intake temps with the factory airbox. I know if there is a significant difference, or I will know if there's a significant difference in air temps. So we'll go figure that out, because that's something I'm curious to know. I don't know if you can really hear that, but it is definitely louder on the intake side. So I'm gonna set the GoPro up here by the street. I'm just gonna do some casual drive-bys, nothing crazy. I just want to see if you can hear the spool any clearer now with the intake. It is noticeably louder. Like you hear it like sucking in air. That is crazy. I mean, before you could hear the turbo spool, but you never actually heard the air itself really as much. But now it's like it's trying to suck in small children. And also another good thing about this intake is I did do the VTA mod, and that was kind of annoying me because it was honestly obnoxiously loud on this car. So the good thing about having an open filter, like a big filter intake like that is, you know, I connected the recirculation valve back to the intake, and it doesn't do the loud but it does have a nice, it's not as overwhelming. It's still a nice sound. So, and I wasn't even getting on it much. I was barely making boost because the car is cold, obviously. But now we got that out of the way, let's go see if it makes any more power from the seat of the pants perspective, and if it makes any difference in intake temps. All right, so we're out driving around. First thing I noticed is, so far on a 75-degree day, intake temps are within reason. Right now, the intake temps at the air tube are 83 degrees. And they recover pretty quickly, so let's see here. 80 degrees, 79 degrees, 78, 77. I guess because it's pulling a lot more air in, you know, it can maintain the cooler stream of air, I guess. I don't know. Right now, IAT2, so the intercooler temps after the intercooler are 86 degrees, which is not too bad. It's 75 out. So, but I have not driven, you know, the car's, I mean, it's warmed up now, but I haven't really gotten on it any. But I tell you what, though, it is noticeably louder than it was, like the turbo noise. Let's see if you can hear it. Do you hear that? Let's see how this sounds. Not sure how well you could hear that, but it is, even over the exhaust being fully open and the wind noise, you can still hear the sound of the air being sucked in. It is crazy. Let's see if you can hear that better now with the windows up. Yeah. That is crazy. And after those two pulls, intake temps at the box are 77 degrees. Intake temps at the intercooler went up 95 degrees. Went up to 95 degrees. So yeah, as far as the intake temps coming into the car being any different, it's about the same as the factory box, which is good. Now, of course, what I'm curious is, once the car's been driven around, it's been sitting, stopping, idling, the heat builds up, gets into that pipe, that's when I really want to know if it makes any difference there. So we're just gonna drive around, have some fun, get some heat in the car here, and then we'll come back and see how those temps are. So I've been driving around for a little while now, doing some pulls and whatnot, just trying to get the car as hot as possible. Been sitting in some traffic, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed. The intake temp at the box is 94 degrees. That is about the same, if not maybe slightly better than the factory box. So that's good. Of course, the intercooler is heat soaked. We're at 125 degrees there, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy. Now, the only weird thing that I've noticed is just not long ago, I was getting some very severe positive knock, and I'm going to take the assumption that that was false knock caused by the intake. I feel like it's maybe tapping the hood a little bit or something, or somewhere. It was during like a certain pulls, you would feel it. And you can hear it. It's like this tapping noise every now and again. So I don't know if that's the tube hitting something, or maybe I just need to adjust some things, but I've never seen that kind of knock on this car before. So yeah, I'm gonna say that was something to do with false knock in the intake, but otherwise I'm really happy with it. It sounds ridiculous. I mean, it is noticeably louder from the intake side when you're really getting on it. It's pretty crazy. So I've been pretty happy with both of the Mishimoto products I've received, the catch can and now this intake. Now there's one more piece of the puzzle that still hasn't quite shipped out yet, still back ordered, but it's one more piece of the puzzle from Mishimoto that's going to be put on the car here, so we're just going to have to wait for that. But otherwise, that will be it for this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with everyone you know if you want to see more content like this, and go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and keep a lookout for the next true car enthusiast video.